Think about it. Think about the things that you do. Think about the consequences
But at the end of the day, we want the kids to think. And can you talk a little bit about that? Just, how they make decisions in your opinion, and how these things happen.
I think about all the training and all the times I've been in the street. The first thing I would say, man, think about what you're doing. Is it worth it?
Hello, my name is Rodney Matthews, and I am the founder of Think About It. Think About It is a summit that we're putting together this year, 2021, to get youth and adults and people of all professions together to talk about choices that our youth are making today, and hopefully get them to think about what happens when they make decisions, good and bad. When we talk about decisions that people make, we talk about what we see in the community. We see a lot of murders. We see a lot of kids just getting into trouble, kids just making really bad choices. And we've done everything we can so far to really get the kids to, hear our message, stop the violence, come on, go to school, do this, do that. But what I think some of the things that we're missing is just getting the kids to think, to become logical thinkers, and think about the consequences that their actions may cause, either good or bad. And what
As we know that most people usually know if a person's going to do something. Somebody else knows about it. Someone else, but they don't know who to turn to. So what the Public Call Institute is to train young people to go to the street and to interrupt the violence, interrupt them before they pull their gun, or go to the house. Sometimes the beef is on Facebook, so you need to pull it off. Why are you dudes beating? You can't assume that, they're arguing, that don't mean anything. They're talking about this, what they can do. They heard some music. They're just carrying out the music that they hear. And then it hits the street, and it becomes very serious. So what the Brother Cowell Institute is to know what's happening in the community at all time. And what are the things that we can execute on, or we can interrupt violence to begin to stop people from doing it. So in order to do that, you have to have a relationship with the community. You have to have people that know the community. You have to have people coming out of Yale, people coming out of jail, people that's working that's willing to say, hey, I think violence is too much in the community. I don't like the way these homicides are going down. I think we can do something about it. So what the Brother Cowell Institute is doing is looking at what are the things we can interrupt before it happens.
Okay. So Think About It is just one of the programs that's going to be in the Brother Cowell Institute. And what we're trying to do with Think About It is just, get the kids to think about stuff before they even do stuff.
I understand the pain. I've lost family members. Think About It is about my cousin, Makai Buckley. That's what the MB5 stands for. And, everybody in my family wanted revenge. Everybody in my family wanted to retaliate. But that's just going to break the family up even more. So you have to think about these things when you make these decisions. You have to be able to say, hey, what choices am I going to make that are going to affect not only me, but everybody else? And, you can drink, you can get high, and those things impair your thinking. And I know all of us do it. All of the people out here marijuana is legal or whatever, but sometimes your choices get blurred when you're under an influence of a drug or things, and you may do things. So what Think About It is just to make you sit down and just think about the decisions. For instance, if you get caught carrying a gun, how much time are you going to do? Do the kids even know that? What's happening is kids are getting caught up in the system, and then they're being taught a lesson pretty much as they go. I didn't know that me carrying a gun would give me 5 to 6 years in jail and screw me up for a really long time. I didn't know if I was in a car with somebody that had a gun and they shot somebody that I would be an accessory to a murder. I didn't know. And, we perish because we don't know. And my job would think about it is to put all this information out on the table, to have them speak with professionals. I mean, I'm talking about lawyers, judges, doctors, people that actually would be involved in some of the things that happen in our community, and kind of let them know what really happens after they make a bad choice. For instance, if you shoot somebody, this is what happens. That person gets brought into the hospital, and several doctors have to try to work and save that person. And in many cases, they don't survive. So that doctor has to come out and talk to a family and explain how their 15, 14, 20-year-old kid just got killed. And there's no explanation why, well, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time or whatever. So now the parents go through a whole bunch of trauma. The little boy, his little brother, his little sister, his child, his grandmother, all these people have to experience that loss that this one kid made just based on a decision that they didn't really think about, And now the shooter is on the run, okay? Not only is he on the run, he or she is looking for someone to harbor them, and anybody that harbors them is harboring a fugitive. So it's just a whole chain of events, And now you have to look over your shoulder for the rest of your life. Murder, you can be charged 5 years from now, 10 years from now. There is no statute of limitations on murder, so you may be fined for 2 to 3 years, and next thing you know, you're done. You're trying to get your life back together, but something you did 3 years ago is going to come back and get you. If your family is involved, you're involved. If you're involved, your family is involved. If you decide that you want to rob somebody and you get caught up in that system, guess what? Your mom has to get bail money. Your dad has to get bail money. Your family has to go do a GoFundMe account to front for your funeral. I own a business where people come in and they need T-shirts and things like that to raise money just to bury people. So all these things come into play when people make bad choices. The victims, the families are devastated. They're torn apart based on something that they had no idea their kid would be involved in one way or another. It could be mistaken identity, because if you shoot my boy and I can't get you the word on the street, I'm going to shoot your boy, I'm going to shoot your cousin, I'm going to shoot someone that's next to you. So many of these murders are revenge murders, and they're not even getting the target that they want. They're getting another person. So that just brings a whole nother set of families and friends into this whole trauma. So what we're trying to do with Think About It is just get that message out to people saying, hey, stop and think about it before you do it. That night that you're about to get in your car and go after somebody, think about it. Just take a few minutes and say, what's going to happen when I do this? How is it going to affect my family? How is this going to affect my life? I'm not going to be able to come back home here again. Nothing in my life is going to be the same again once I make this decision. So I'm going to just get people involved with this whole movement. My goal is to Think About It all over the state of Connecticut, and then hopefully nationally. We're going to team up with my uncle, Brother Carl, to do the Brother Carl Institute, through the Brother Carl Institute. And this is going to be one of the programs in the Institute. And the whole thing is really just to have conversations with kids thinking about it.
They took it to the table rather than take it to the street.
Right. And thinking about it is just about that. Just, getting people to have conversation and think about what could happen if they just act on their initial emotions. So that's what we're trying to do with this. And, with the help of Brother Carl Institute, we're going to be going through different schools and, just different things. And anybody that really wants information on Think About It can go through the Brother Carl Institute and get information on it. And show them the T-shirts. We got T-shirts that we're going to be kind of passing out to the students and things like that, kind of letting them know that, because we really want to get this message throughout our city. And we're going to have stickers and flyers and everything, just kind of working on this whole thing, talking about it. So, we're just asking you to think about it. And thanks, Carl, for your time and kind of letting us know the history of what's going on in this place.
The history is important to know that there were people out there that was willing to sit down and think about it. And if you talk to those people today, every time I see them, they say, thank you, Brother Carl. Thank you. Because I don't know where I would be today if it wasn't for you.
Exactly. So that's it. Again, thanks. So Think About It coming to your hood community real soon. And again, thanks for your time. And we're out. Peace.
So rock out to this song that a friend of mine did for me about 4 years ago, and it just kind of talks about what Think About It is. And hopefully we can stop some of this violence on the street. We can turn our kids around and just hopefully get them to make the right decisions. And that's where we are.
The days and times we're living in, they're crazier than before. Words exchanged, bullets sprayed, and someone's laid on the floor. The tears trickle down the cheek of a mother who lost her son. Family members can't take it, now they ready to get a gun. It's like a cycle that repeats and comes back to the same thing. Regardless the meaning, the outcome is another man slain. I done seen it, got a lot of my people laid in the dirt. The first 2 drawers inside my dress is full of rest in peace shirts. The streets is cherished and the life is something that the youth fiend. Convicted murderers that tell you it ain't all that it seems. Instead of following behind Martin after having this dream, we idle hood dudes with big burners and infrared beams. This keeps up, we as a people will be wiped out existence if we don't think before we act and change the life that we live in. I'm from the street and I ain't preaching, I'm just speaking the truth to try to make the path a little easier for the youth. If not now, then when? If not us, then it's not them that's to blame. You got your own mind, simple and plain. The choice to do the right or wrong thing. Just know your life gon' change after you pull that thing and it go bang. Either you rock an orange jumper with some years to parole, or you're looking over your shoulder till that day your book's closed. All I'm trying to say is know the consequences of your actions before you pull that out and start clapping. Think about it. Think about the things that you do. Think about the consequences that'll happen to you. Think about the pain and suffering the mother go through. Think about it, cause the choice is all up to you. You gotta think about it.